In 1989, a man sat in front of a TV camera and said something that the United States government did not want the world to hear. He said he had worked inside a secret facility miles beyond Area 51. He said he had seen technology that was not built by any country on this planet. He said the government knew, and he said they were going to come for him. His name was Bob Lazar, and everything that happened next will make you question what you think you know. 8 miles northwest of Las Vegas, there is a place that, for decades, the U.S. government refused to acknowledge. The base had sensors buried in the desert floor, miles away from the perimeter. If you stepped on the wrong patch of dirt, armed vehicles would reach you before you even saw the fence. This level of secrecy wasn't just unusual, it was extreme. And for years, no one knew why. No public maps, no official name, just a dry lake bed in the Nevada desert called Groom Lake. Workers who were hired to build it were flown in on unmarked planes. Blindfolded, they signed documents saying that if they talked, they would face federal prosecution. Their own families didn't know where they worked, until a physicist from Los Alamos started asking questions he wasn't supposed to ask. His name was Bob Lazar, and his story starts in the most unexpected place. Bob Lazar wasn't a conspiracy theorist, wasn't a UFO chaser. He was a physicist. He had worked at the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, one of the most prestigious scientific institutions in the United States. In the late 1980s, he received a call, a job offer, high security clearance, high pay, classified location. He was told he'd be working on advanced propulsion systems. He accepted. He was transported to a facility he had never heard of, not Area 51, something deeper, something called S4, located several miles south of the main Area 51 complex, built directly into the side of a mountain, with hangar doors that were angled to blend perfectly into the rock face. And inside those hangars, Bob Lazar said he saw something that stopped him cold. 9 disc-shaped craft, sitting on the floor. Not American, not Soviet, not from anywhere on this earth. But here's what makes this different from every other UFO story you've heard. Bob Lazar didn't just see them. He was asked to work on one. Lazar claimed the craft ran on a fuel source that, at the time, did not exist on the periodic table. He called it Element 115. He described its properties in detail. He said it created a gravitational field that bent space around the craft, allowing it to travel not by propulsion, but by folding the distance between 2 points. Scientists who heard this in 1989 laughed. Element 115 was theoretical, impossible to synthesize. 2003.
That year, Russian and American scientists working together officially synthesized Element 115 in a laboratory. In 2016, it was formally added to the periodic table. Its official name, Moscovium. Bob Lazar had described this element. Years before, science confirmed it existed. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe. Really did see what he said he saw. But here's where the story takes a turn that nobody talks about. Because shortly after Lazar went public, the government didn't just deny his story. They tried to erase him. After Bob Lazar appeared on Las Vegas television in 1989, things moved fast. His employment records at Los Alamos, gone. His educational records, gone. His physics thesis, untraceable. The government's official position? Bob Lazar never worked for them, never at S4. He had no security clearance. He essentially
verify these sources.
Didn't exist in their records. But investigative journalists dug deeper, and they found a Los Alamos internal phone directory from the late 1980s with Bob Lazar's name in it. They found colleagues who remembered him. They found a W-2 tax form from a division of the U.S. Navy connected to a facility in the Nevada desert. You don't erase a nobody. You don't erase someone whose story doesn't matter. The intensity of the government's response told its own story. He drove out to the desert on the night Bob told him that the craft would be test flown. He saw lights in the sky above Area 51, performing maneuvers that no aircraft in 1989 could perform. He reported it to the police. The next day, he was visited by federal agents.
We need to know exactly
what you told him. They told him to stop asking
them.
questions. So, what is the truth? In 2013, the CIA officially acknowledged that Area 51 exists. Declassified documents confirm testing of the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, and early stealth aircraft programs. Confirmed, declassified. But here's what those same documents did not address: the S-4 facility, Bob Lazar's employment, Element 115, the 9 craft. And today, Area 51 is bigger than it has ever been. New runways, new buildings, new infrastructure. The restricted airspace has expanded. The use of deadly force, authorized signs are still there. The black budget, the classified portion of U.S. defense spending, runs into the tens of billions of dollars annually. Was Bob Lazar telling the truth? We don't know. Was he lying? We can't prove that either. But here's what we do know. A man described an element that didn't exist, and it appeared on the periodic table 14 years later. His records were systematically deleted. The government spent significant resources discrediting someone they claimed was nobody, and the base keeps growing. For something. For what? Maybe Bob Lazar saw exactly what he said he saw. Maybe he was a brilliant man who constructed an elaborate lie. Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle, a classified program so advanced that even calling it alien was easier than explaining it. But one thing is certain. The United States government built a facility so secret that workers were blindfolded to reach it. They erased a man's identity. They denied, deflected, and declassified only what they chose to. And somewhere out there, in 38,000 acres of restricted Nevada desert, something is still happening. Right now, tonight. And we are not allowed to know what it is. Bob Lazar's story doesn't end here. If you want to go deeper, subscribe. The next one is darker.